Hi everyone, this is Melanie from Melanie B's Creative Studio, and today we're going to play with a little bit of scratch art again. So I brought you an introduction to scratch art already, and I kind of did a sneak peek of this little kit that I have in front of me. Well, although I ordered this for my granddaughter who is almost 11 so that she could do scratch art with me, I loved it too. So I was like, well, you know, I have to sample it for myself to see if it's really any good. So I bought it for her, and then I opened it to test it and sat there and obsessively completed this project that one night. It was like, probably took me like 2 hours, hour and a half, I don't even know. So here's the way this little kit works. Now, this title of this video, I have no idea what it's going to be, but I wanted to say scratch art for kids or for adults. Because to me, this little kit could be for both very easily. So let's play with it for a minute. Now, I had shown you the contents and I went through all the templates in the first scratch art video, so I'm not going to do that again this time. It comes with this stack of templates, and I mean, very intricately designed templates, and then it's got a stack of scratch art blank sheets. Now, you could always order more blank sheets if you wanted to, because those are for sale too on Amazon, but I am just going to, who knows how long it'll take us to use all these, but I'm going to pick a design and kind of show you a little bit about the best way I figured out to use the templates for success. So although I am not a cat person, I love this cat design. And I feel like, okay, when people say, why aren't you a cat person? Well, let me tell you something. I don't need an animal that has more sass and attitude than I do, because it would just be like a war, and we'd be in there, literally cat fighting the whole time. So not going there, don't need a cat. Plus, if the second they get on my countertops, I'm like, okay, you're an outdoor cat now. So yes, but this one is so freaking cute. So for those of you who love kitty cats, even though I was gonna do the deer, I figured I would do this cat, okay? So I've got my template. I'm trying to get a clean sheet of the scratch art paper. Now, because you don't want to add tape to this, right? You can still lay the template on top. This is from the previous video, just FYI. And I'm going to do a little taping here at the top and here at the bottom, just to hold it in place so that it does not move while I'm working on it. So y'all know, because I'm the paint by number person, that I have frog tape. You can use whatever you want. It just needs to be something you can kind of pull off easily. You don't really want it sticking. And if you want it to make it less sticky, you can just put it on your pants or your shirt, get some fuzz on it, and then tape it down. It'll still hold it in place. It just won't tear the back when you try to pull it off. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm putting it on my cable knit leggings that I'm glad you can't see me in right now. And I'm just gonna tape it around like that. And that kind of holds it in place. Now that is something you don't have to do, guys, but that, you know, it makes it a little easier. And kids get frustrated, and so do adults. So if it keeps me from having a level of frustration, then I'm gonna do that little trick. Now, one thing I should have mentioned first is that sometimes you might have to pop out some of the little components. And I see this little piece that I missed. So I'm gonna try to get it. There we go, okay. What I had to do last time, there were some very difficult pieces that kind of got stuck. And so I had to take the little piercing tool on the back of this and kind of poke it and get it out of there. So let's start. Now I'm gonna use this tool predominantly. In the larger areas, I can use the tool like this, but I'm not gonna do this entire piece. I'm just gonna show you kind of how I've figured out that works the best. Little tiny openings. You can use this side, but you really need to be careful not to stab it and tear your paper. So I'm gonna do this little, let's talk about this little section right here. It's very thin. So as carefully as I can, not putting any pressure, I'm gonna come through here and outline this little area with this tiny little point. And that is probably the only time I'm going to use that small point. Now in here, I feel like I can kind of get in and move around. Same with the openings here, the little round sections, and I'm trying not to push very hard. It doesn't take force to make the shape. You just have to be kind of careful. And then real lightly, I'm going to go in here and just trace this. And I know my hand is probably in a lot of this, and I'm sorry. When you work with an overhead camera, it's a little harder to keep your hands out of the way. But anyway, so this is all I'm doing. So I'm just basically tracing all of the openings, right? Now you see I just scratched it with something. I'm not worried because I'm actually going to open up all of this area, and I think I'm going to do that first. So let's trace around it. And while I'm working on it, normally I would take the stencil off after I've traced it all, but I'm going to just do it for demonstration purposes. I'm just going to remove all the color. Just scraping it kind of towards me using that rough edge I told you about in the last video. Like I said, normally I would do this with the template off, but since I haven't gotten to that part yet, and I can touch it up once I'm done. Now, another thing I really didn't mention in the first video is that you want to make sure this little tip stays cleaned off. So I kind of periodically, I'll just kind of brush it off with my finger, and I do it and I don't even think about it. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned it. There's some still little black spots in here that I missed. I'm just going to gently remove those. And I'm going to untape the bottom here and lift this up to show you. So now, once I've done the entire tracing, I'm going to come back and decide which sections I want to remove all the inside. So like here, okay, so I've got this little whisker. I'm going to remove everything in that little shape. Then I'm going to do the little circle. So this company has gold scratch art sheets and colorful scratch off sheets and whatever. This kit comes with the colorful ones so that when you scratch off, you have all those vibrant colors, more of the rainbow kind of thing. But if you wanted to do templates for like landscapes or whatever, you can do the gold background so that when you remove it, it's all in that pretty golden color. I'm sure over time there's going to be a lot of different options. I've seen some books that have like a foil underneath where it's really holographic, and I've seen a lot of different things. So that's it for today, guys. I just wanted to give you a brief look of how you would go about using the little templates, and I hope that was helpful. And as you can see, this was my parrot that I did. Let me turn him this way so you can kind of see it in full frame here. And this did not really take me that long at all, you guys. I got that kit for my granddaughter. I opened it up and I was like, oh, let me test it. And here we go. And I was off and I was watching Supernatural, catching up for old episodes I hadn't seen in forever, and kind of got lost. Now, I haven't touched this little section up yet. I will do that. But this piece is complete. But you can see where I learned a lot of tricks and stuff, because here's where I scratched it with the little piercing tool that was too sharp. Here's where I kind of gouged in and got too many stroke marks. But you know, I've chalked this up to all learning experience. This is how I learned, and this is what helped me figure out which tool worked in which place and all that. So these look pretty good because I figured out the tool. But then over here, you can see these very distinctive, you know, stroke marks because I was pushing too hard and not using the edge and using more of the point. So that's it, guys. Cool little kit, great Christmas gift. I think, like I said earlier, prices change on Amazon so fast, but at the time when I purchased this, I want to say this was like $15.99, And I think, what a freaking bargain. Your kids can sit there for hours, or you can sit there for hours and just scratch art. Like, it's just beautiful, and it's so therapeutic, and like I said earlier, it is such an oddly satisfying thing to just scratch off the surface. So that is it for today. I hope you guys got some Christmas gift ideas now, and I'm sure I'll see you back soon with something, because y'all know how I do, and you've seen my studio tour, and you know how many things I have collected, how many hobbies I'm actually into. So I'm trying to keep it minimal on this channel so that I don't get too overwhelmed and overwhelm everyone else. But I do Zen art, like Zentangling and chalk couture, home decor, and I mean, you know, the list goes on and on. So now I've added scratch art. You're welcome. Thank you guys, as always, for watching, even if it is something you may or may not be interested in yet. I appreciate you being here. And don't forget to subscribe, because it's a very, very important thing for you to hit this little button over here. It's kind of somewhere down in this little area right down here. See that little subscribe button? Yeah, click that thing. And that's going to help me get more subscribers. And I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you back soon.